You've probably been told that aging automatically means sickness, endless medications, and a life of decline. But let me challenge that belief right now. It's one of the biggest myths of our time. I've seen patients in their late 70s and even 80s running marathons, while others in their early 50s struggle to climb a single flight of stairs or depend on a cane. How can two people of similar age live such radically different lives? The answer isn't luck, and it's not just genetics. The truth is this: aging itself doesn't guarantee weakness or disease. Modern science has proven that your biological age, the true condition of your body and organs, can be 10, 15, even 20 years younger than your actual age. The difference lies in your daily habits, and perhaps the most overlooked yet powerful factor: how you begin your morning. Yes, the first hour after waking can determine how sharp your mind stays, how strong your heart beats, and how well your body resists illness. Simple, almost effortless morning rituals can lower inflammation, boost circulation, protect memory, and even add healthy years to your life. Unfortunately, most people ignore them, rushing straight to coffee, screens, or stress. That small mistake can quietly steal a decade of vitality. But here's the good news: if you apply these practices consistently, you won't have to wait years to notice a difference. In just a few weeks, you may find yourself sleeping more soundly, thinking more clearly, and moving with newfound energy. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, I'll share habits that could quite literally change the way you age. Before we dive in, let me ask you something. How old are you right now? And do you feel truly healthy? Leave your answer in the comments. I'll personally do my best to respond to each of you. Thank you for joining me here on Senior Health Tips, Healthy Aging. Now, let's get started. Habit Year 8. Rinse your mouth with warm water. You might be surprised to hear this. One of the simplest secrets to staying healthy doesn't begin with breakfast or exercise. It starts with a glass of warm water. Yes, something as ordinary as rinsing your mouth with warm water before brushing your teeth can set the tone for your entire day. Here's why. Overnight, your mouth becomes a breeding ground for bacteria because saliva production slows down while you sleep. Your gums and enamel are dry and more fragile than you realize. If you grab your toothbrush right away, you're scraping at tissue that hasn't had a chance to rehydrate. But when you rinse with warm water, just slightly above body temperature, around 98 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, it gently loosens that bacterial film and wakes up your mouth. The warmth helps blood vessels in your gums open up, improving circulation and making your teeth and gums more resilient. And the benefits don't stop there. Scientists have linked poor oral health to bigger issues like heart disease and even Alzheimer's. Think about it. Tiny infections in your gums can send inflammation signals throughout your whole body. Taking half a minute in the morning to rinse can literally lower the stress on your heart and brain over time. I once worked with a patient who struggled with chronic gum inflammation for years. Medications didn't help much, and he was embarrassed by constant tenderness and bad breath. When we added this simple warm water rinse before brushing, within 3 months his gums were noticeably healthier, his breath fresher, and he felt confident smiling again. The steps couldn't be easier. Take about a cup of warm water, swish it gently for 30 seconds before brushing, and let your mouth reset. It's quick, free, and powerful. And if you think this is impressive, just wait until you hear the next habit. It's something so unusual that even many traditional doctors are surprised by how effective it can be. Habit number 7. Go barefoot on the earth. Think of this habit like charging your body the way you charge your phone. We live surrounded by wires, screens, concrete, and shoes that cut us off from the natural energy of the earth. But when you step barefoot onto grass or soil, something almost magical happens. You reconnect with the natural electrical charge of the ground, and your body responds like it's been waiting for this reset all along. Modern science calls it grounding, And studies show it's not just a poetic idea. Walking barefoot outside has been linked to reduced inflammation, lower cortisol, the stress hormone, and even deeper, more restorative sleep. It's as if the Earth's energy helps calm the static running through your body. I remember one patient with chronic knee arthritis. She had tried medications, ice packs, supplements, you name it. Nothing really gave her lasting relief. But after 6 weeks of spending 10 quiet minutes each morning barefoot on the grass in her backyard, she came back with tears in her eyes. Her pain had eased, her steps felt lighter, and she told me, "For the first time in years, I actually look forward to mornings." Even more surprising? She was sleeping better than she had in decades. The best part is how simple it is. You don't need special equipment, you don't need to spend a dime. Just find a safe patch of grass, soil, or even sand, and let your feet touch the ground for 5 to 10 minutes. Avoid concrete or asphalt. They don't carry the same natural energy. If you're lucky enough to live near a park, a garden, or even a small patch of lawn, you've got the perfect charging station right outside your door. And here's the exciting part. This is only number 7 on the list. If something so effortless can help fight pain, stress, and sleepless nights, just imagine how powerful the next habits will be. Habit number 6. Drinking warm lemon water. Think of this habit like rinsing out a water filter. Every morning, your body has been busy repairing, detoxing, and digesting while you sleep. Just like you'd never run dirty water through a filter without cleaning it first, your body also needs that gentle refresh to start the day. And warm lemon water is one of the simplest ways to do it. When you squeeze half a lemon into a cup of warm water, you're giving your system a natural boost of vitamin C. That's the nutrient your immune system craves to keep you strong, especially as you get older. On top of that, lemon contains citric acid, which encourages your liver to do its job more efficiently. Think of your liver as the detox factory of your body. It filters out waste, processes nutrients, and keeps everything running smoothly. Warm water helps kickstart this process by waking up your digestion gently, without the jolt of cold liquid first thing in the morning. But here's something important. More doesn't always mean better. I've seen people drink glass after glass of straight lemon juice, thinking they're supercharging their health. In reality, too much acidity can irritate your stomach lining and even wear down your tooth enamel. The key is balance. Just half a lemon with about 8 ounces of warm water is more than enough to give you the benefits without the downsides. And one little tip: rinse your mouth with plain water afterward, so the acid doesn't linger on your teeth. It's a small, soothing ritual. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive. Yet over time it can leave you feeling lighter, more energized, and ready to take on the day with clarity. And here's the exciting part. If something this simple can refresh your body and support your liver every morning, wait until you see the next habit. It may actually help protect you from one of the leading causes of death in older adults. Habit number 5, neck and shoulder rotations. It may sound almost too simple, but taking just a few minutes to gently rotate your neck and shoulders can be like a hidden shield against silent strokes and the stiffness that creeps up with age. We don't often think about it, but the blood vessels in your neck are highways delivering oxygen to your brain. When those pathways get restricted because of tension, poor posture, or years of sitting too much, circulation slows down, and your risk for bigger health problems rises. Science has shown that gentle movements in the neck and shoulder area can encourage blood flow to the brain and reduce the pressure that builds up around your cervical spine. In plain words, you're helping to keep your brain sharp while also protecting yourself from the wear and tear that often leads to neck degeneration later in life. I once heard from a woman in her late 60s who struggled with frequent dizziness. Her doctors had ruled out serious conditions, but she still felt uneasy standing up or walking too fast. She started practicing a short morning routine, 3 or 4 minutes of slow, controlled rotations of her shoulders and light stretches for her neck. After a few weeks, she noticed she could move more freely, and the dizziness eased. For her, it wasn't about a dramatic overnight change, but about reclaiming comfort and confidence in her own body. You don't need to do anything extreme. The trick is in the gentleness. Start by sitting or standing tall, rolling your shoulders slowly forward and back, then moving your head side to side as if saying no, and up and down as if saying yes. Avoid forcing your neck into full circles. That can strain more than it helps. Just 5 minutes of mindful movement is enough to loosen tension, open circulation, and give your brain that morning wake-up it deserves. And if this simple habit can protect your brain and body in such a powerful way, imagine what comes next. Because the next practice isn't just about flexibility. It could be the secret to sleeping deeper and carrying energy with you all day long. Habit number 4. Morning sunlight. There's something almost magical about stepping outside in the quiet of the morning and letting the first rays of sunlight touch your skin. It feels simple, almost ordinary, but inside your body, a remarkable process begins. That light is sparking the production of vitamin D, which strengthens your bones and supports your immune system. At the same time, it nudges your brain to release serotonin, the feel-good chemical that lifts your mood and helps you feel steady and positive throughout the day. And as the sun sets later, that same rhythm helps your body produce melatonin, the hormone that signals it's time to rest, so you sleep more deeply at night. Researchers have found that just 10 minutes of gentle morning sun can lower the risk of depression in older adults by nearly a quarter. That's not a small shift. It's life-changing. Think about it. 10 minutes of fresh air and sunlight might do more for your mental health than an hour of scrolling or sitting indoors under artificial lights. The beauty is, you don't need much. Between 7 and 10 a.m. is the sweet spot, when the sunlight is strong enough to be effective, but still gentle on your skin. Just a few minutes with your face and hands exposed, no need to overdo it, can make all the difference. If you have a garden, a porch, or even just a quiet spot near a window that gets direct light, make it part of your daily rhythm. It's less about the location and more about consistency. This tiny ritual connects you back to something our bodies have always known. We're meant to live in sync with the sun. It's not just about stronger bones or better sleep. It's about reminding yourself that each day is a fresh start, lit up with energy and calm. And if the morning sun can do that, just wait. Because the next habit doesn't only fuel your body, it also brings peace and stillness to your mind. Habit number 3, gratitude journaling. Think of this practice as giving yourself a small mental vaccine every morning. A gentle shield that helps protect you from the stress and negativity that can creep in during the day. Writing down what you're grateful for doesn't take long, but the impact is surprisingly deep. Science shows us that gratitude journaling can lower cortisol, the stress hormone that quietly wears down your body over time. At the same time, it boosts dopamine, the chemical tied to motivation and joy. It's almost like telling your brain, hey, let's focus on the light instead of the shadows. And when your brain shifts its focus, your entire body feels the difference. I once worked with a 75-year-old woman who started a simple habit. Each morning, she'd jot down 3 things she was thankful for. Some days it was her granddaughter's laughter. Other days it was something as simple as her morning cup of tea. After 6 months, her blood pressure, something she'd struggled with for years, was noticeably improved. And she didn't change her diet or her medication. The only change was this 5-minute ritual of noticing the good. The beauty is, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need fancy journals or poetic words. A scrap of paper, a notebook, even a note on your phone works just fine. The power is in the act of slowing down, looking at your life, and reminding yourself that there is still beauty, still kindness, still something worth holding on to. And here's the secret. Gratitude isn't just for your mind. As your thoughts soften, your body responds. Blood pressure steadies, sleep improves, and you find yourself carrying a little more peace through your day. And when your mind has been gently calmed this way, your body is ready to be cared for too, with the next habit that will nurture you in ways you might not expect. Habit number 2, foot massage. Your feet may look small compared to the rest of your body, but they hold a world of hidden connections. Each foot contains more than 7,000 nerve endings, quietly linking different parts of your body in ways you probably don't even notice. When you take a few minutes to massage them, you're not just easing tired muscles, you're gently sending signals of comfort and balance throughout your entire nervous system. I once had a patient with diabetes who struggled with constant numbness and tingling in his feet. Medications helped, but the side effects weighed him down. So he tried something incredibly simple: massaging his feet each night before bed. After a few weeks, he noticed the tingling had softened, and after a couple of months, he could sleep through the night without that nagging discomfort. It didn't cure his condition, but it gave him back a sense of ease he thought he'd lost forever. You don't need to be an expert or spend money at a spa to get the same benefit. A few drops of coconut or olive oil, warmed slightly in your hands, is more than enough. Start with gentle circular motions on the soles, then press lightly along the arch and heel. Just 2 or 3 minutes on each foot can bring surprising relief, especially if you've been on your feet all day. And if you can make it part of your evening routine, you may find it not only calms your body, but also prepares your mind for restful sleep. It's easy to overlook the feet. They're always carrying us, yet rarely cared for. But when you slow down and give them attention, you're tapping into one of the simplest ways to support your whole body. And believe it or not, that's just the beginning. Because while your feet hold this hidden power, the ultimate key to protecting your brain and adding years of vitality lies in the very last habit on our list. Habit number 1. Reading or reading aloud. There's a quiet kind of strength in sitting down with a book, a newspaper, or even a single page of poetry. It may seem simple, almost ordinary, but to your brain, it's like a workout for the muscles that matter most. Reading activates the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. Every sentence you process, every story you follow, is like laying down another protective layer around your memory, keeping it sharp for the years ahead. In fact, a Harvard study found that older adults who read daily lowered their risk of developing Alzheimer's by 32%. That's nearly a third less likely to lose the stories, names, and memories that make life meaningful. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to tackle a novel every week. Reading one article, a poem, or even a page from a favorite book can provide the same mental spark. And if you want to take it a step further, try reading aloud. When you give voice to the words, you're engaging not just your memory, but also your speech, your focus, and even your breathing. I've seen grandparents read bedtime stories to their grandchildren, and in those moments, it's more than just cognitive exercise. It's connection. It's showing the younger generation that age doesn't mean decline. It can mean wisdom, presence, and resilience. So when you open a book tomorrow morning or tonight before bed, remember this: you're not just reading for yourself. You're reading for the version of you 10 years from now, the one who will thank you for protecting your memory. And you're also reading for the people around you, leaving behind an example of what graceful, vibrant aging can look like. The way you start your morning doesn't just shape your energy for the day, it can quietly influence your brain health for years to come. One of the most powerful yet overlooked choices is what you put on your plate at breakfast. Many people reach for something quick and sweet: a pastry, a bowl of sugary cereal, maybe even just coffee loaded with cream and sugar. It feels comforting in the moment, but here's the catch. Those sugar spikes are like little jolts that, over time, wear down your brain. Studies have shown a strong connection between blood sugar regulation and Alzheimer's risk. When your blood sugar swings wildly every morning, it can damage blood vessels and increase inflammation in the brain. Over years, that damage adds up. Some researchers even refer to Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes because of how closely it ties back to glucose imbalance. But here's the good news. You don't need a complicated diet to protect yourself. A simple breakfast that's low in sugar and rich in protein sets you up with steady energy and a calmer mind. Think of a bowl of oatmeal topped with fresh berries, giving you fiber and antioxidants without the sugar crash. Or 2 boiled eggs with a side of spinach or avocado, rich in protein, healthy fats, and nutrients that keep your brain sharp. Even a small cup of Greek yogurt with nuts can do wonders. It's not about cutting everything you love, but about shifting toward foods that fuel you instead of draining you. The first meal of the day is like giving your brain a clean slate. You can either load it with sugar that clouds your focus, or nourish it with protein and whole foods that keep your thoughts clear and your memory resilient. And when you combine smart nutrition with the other simple habits we've been talking about, the protective effect on your mind and body only multiplies. We often think of health as diet, exercise, or medication. But one of the most powerful medicines is invisible. It's the way we connect with others. Human beings are wired for community, and when we nurture those connections, it doesn't just warm the heart, it literally extends life. Research has shown again and again that people who stay socially engaged live longer, healthier lives. It's not just about avoiding loneliness. It's about giving your brain and body a reason to stay active, curious, and resilient. Being part of conversations, sharing laughter, even arguing a little. These interactions stimulate the mind, reduce stress, and strengthen the immune system. That's exactly what scientists discovered when they studied the world's blue zones. Regions like Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, or Nicoya in Costa Rica, where people routinely live past 90 or even 100 in surprisingly good health. Yes, their diets matter. Yes, their daily movement plays a role. But one thing they all have in common is a deep sense of belonging. They gather daily, whether to share meals, sing together, or simply walk and talk. They don't age alone, they age as part of a tribe. The good news? You don't need to live in a blue zone to capture that same benefit. It can be as simple as joining a local book club, walking with neighbors in the morning, volunteering at a community center, or calling a friend just to check in. These little acts of connection are like threads weaving a safety net under your life, keeping you supported through both joyful and difficult seasons. When you invest in relationships, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. And that's something no pill or supplement can ever replace. You've just walked through 8 simple habits and 2 powerful extensions that can truly change the way you age. Habits that protect your brain, lift your mood, and bring more energy into your everyday life. And the truth is, turning 60 and beyond doesn't have to feel like the beginning of decline. It can be the start of the most meaningful, vibrant chapter of your journey. So let me ask you, how old are you right now? And how's your health these days? Share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this message spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and pass it along to someone you care about. Because sometimes, one small habit can light up an entire future.